Greetings, we'll cover a few details about John McAfee in his life in a succinct manner. Here is a short rundown of his early years, education, career, persona, notable works, legal difficulties, and demise. John David McAfee was a British-American computer programmer, entrepreneur, and information security pioneer, who created the multinational computer security software company, McAfee, and ran unsuccessfully for the presidency of the United States twice in 2016 and 2020, on the Libertarian Party ticket. Also known as John David McAfee, famous as entrepreneur and computer programmer, who developed the first commercial antivirus software. Born September 18, 1945, Cinderford, Gloucestershire, England. Died June 23, 2021, Centre Penitentiary Bryans 2. Father, Don McAfee. Mother, Joan Williams. Spouses, Judy McAfee, Janice Dyson. Education, Roanoke College. Co-founder, McAfee. Nationality, American. Height, 1.83 meter. On September 18, 1945, John McAfee was born in the UK to an English mother and an American father. When he first met his mother, his father was a World War II veteran. His father afterwards held a position as a road surveyor. When he was a small child, his parents relocated to Roanoke, Virginia. Due to his abusive and alcoholic father, he had a challenging upbringing. When John was 15 years old, his father committed suicide, which was a turn for the worse. John would always be haunted by this event. His family's issues had a significant impact on him, leading him to begin drinking and using drugs. John had a natural aptitude for learning, which allowed him to succeed in school despite his addictions. In 1967, John McAfee graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics from Roanoke College. Later, he was admitted to Northeast State Louisiana State College to pursue a mathematical PhD. His degree, however, was revoked due to his inappropriate sexual activity. McAfee was a brilliant young man, with a remarkable aptitude for programming. Despite his drug addiction and drunkenness, he was able to land jobs in reputable businesses, thanks to his great abilities and knowledge. In 1968, he secured employment as a programmer at the NASA Institute for Space Studies in New York City. He moved to UNIVAC to work as a software designer after a few years there. He found work with Xerox as an operating system architect in the middle of the 1970s. In 1978, he then started working for Computer Sciences Corporation as a software consultant. He was employed by the consulting company Booz Allen Hamilton from 1980 until 1982. He continued to struggle with his drug and alcohol addiction during this time, which may have contributed to his inability to secure a stable work. His heroin addiction worsened every day, until it was out of control by 1983. He was employed at Omex and was frequently caught using narcotics and drinking in his workspace. His bosses fired him as a result of their intense rage over his careless actions. This served as the much-needed wake-up call for McAfee. He became a member of AA and quit drinking soon after. Later, he worked for renowned defense contractor Lockheed Martin on a top-secret voice recognition program. Here, he discovered a self-replicating program that would duplicate itself onto any floppy disk placed into compromised PCs. This type of programming was known as a virus. He began creating virus-fighting software because he had a gut feeling that the threat of viruses would only increase over time. In 1987, he founded McAfee Associates, a computer antivirus business of his own. By 1989, he had left his position at Lockheed and was fully focused on his quickly expanding company. The threat posed by viruses grew globally, and McAfee eventually grew to be a multi-million-dollar company. John McAfee handed off his ownership of the company in the mid-1990s. John McAfee established Tribal Voice, a business that created the instant messaging service Powwow, in the middle of the 1990s. He also runs Future Tense Central and Quorum X, as businesses. The financial crisis of 2007 to 2008, according to a story that appeared in the New York Times in August 2009, caused McAfee's personal fortune to drop to $4 million from $100 million. After going through several ownership changes, Intel purchased McAfee in August 2010. Intel then stated in January 2014 that it will begin marketing McAfee-related products under the name Intel Security. He declared in September 2015 that he would participate in the 2016 presidential race as a candidate of the newly established Cyber Party. John McAfee unveiled the Cognizant smartphone app in February 2014. But afterwards, the app's name was changed to Decentral One, and Google Play offered it for no charge. John McAfee married twice. His first wife, Judy, left him in the early 1980s, because she could not handle his drug and alcohol abuse. Later on, he wed Janice Dyson. He also had relationships with a number of other ladies. The media extensively covered his previous relationship with Amy Emshwiller, a former adolescent prostitute. John McAfee is best known as the creator of the computer antivirus company McAfee Associates, which quickly grew to be a multi-million-dollar company, despite the controversy surrounding the life of this self-described eccentric millionaire. Later, he sold the business and used the money to fund other endeavors. John McAfee has run into trouble with the law numerous times. He was detained in April 2012 on charges of illegal firearm possession and drug manufacture. Gregory Viant Fall, an American expat who lived next door to him, was discovered shot to death in November 2012. The authorities identified McAfee as a person of interest and sought to question him about the homicide. But McAfee developed paranoia and escaped to Guatemala. A few days later, he was detained. In December of the same year, he was returned to the United States. Hours after the Spanish National Court ordered his extradition to the U.S. for criminal accusations brought in Tennessee by the U.S. Department of Justice Tax Division, McAfee was discovered dead in his cell at the Brians II Penitentiary Center in Barcelona on June 23, 2021. Everything indicates, according to the Catalan Justice Department, that he committed himself by hanging. His suicide was confirmed by an official autopsy.